On the news tonight, Presidency says Buhari not reluctant to hand over to Tinubu. INEC seeks establishment of Electoral Offences Commission to curb violence in the nation's election. While on the foreign scene, United States targets Bahamas military in the latest sanctions. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the major reports. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbuola. The Central Bank of Nigeria has directed all commercial banks to open for operations on Saturdays and Sundays as part of a coordinated effort to ease the circulation of banknotes of various denominations, according to a statement signed by the CBN Acting Director Corporate Communications Department, Issa Abdulamin. A substantial amount of money in various denominations had been received by these commercial banks for onward circulation to their respective customers, as well as conduct physical operations in the banking halls through the weekends. It also confirmed the evacuation of banknotes from its vaults to commercial banks across the country to address the hardship faced by millions of Nigerians as a result of the scarcity of the naira. Following a meeting between the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, the bank chief executive officers, the Apex Bank had earlier begun the disbursement of the old naira notes to the banks as part of efforts to end the currency scarcity in the country. It was reported to have concluded plans to monitor compliance by the banks through a team of CBN officials to ensure proper disbursement of the old naira notes. The presidency has described a claim published in some online news platforms that President Muhammadu Buhari said he did not see himself handing over to the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu as fake news. An online news medium had claimed in one of its recent publications that President Buhari confided in his purported close associates that he did not see himself handing over to Tinubu. But in a statement issued by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garuba Shehu, the presidency queried the logic of the alleged fake news, wondering how President Buhari could campaign for Tinubu and his running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima, and decline to hand over after they had secured victory. It pointed out that the Buhari administration has already kicked off the process of transition with committees in place which are already carrying out duties focused on a handover process. The newly elected governors face an uphill task to stimulate the economies of their respective states, as they will inherit at least 2.1 trillion naira in domestic debts and $1.9 billion in external debts from their predecessors. Investigations showed that some of the first-term governors-elect would also be confronted by many months of unpaid workers' salaries and mounting pension liabilities amidst agitation for the implementation of the nationally agreed minimum wage, rising inflation, escalating prices of goods and services, and dwindling purchasing power. Following the governorship election that was conducted in 28 out of the 36 states of the Federation, a total of 16 governors-elect emerged to take over from their predecessors, who will complete their constitutionally approved second term in office, while a first-term governor lost his re-election bid to the candidate of an opposition party. Some of the governors-elect will also contend with unhappy workers and pensioners due to the failure of their predecessors to pay as of when due. As of September last year, the Debt Management Office put the country's total domestic indebtedness at 21.5 trillion naira, while foreign creditors were owed $39.66 billion. The Independent National Electoral Commission has said that the prosecution of perpetrators of electoral violence and their sponsors will curb the prevalence of violence in the nation's elections. The Chief Press Secretary of the INEC Chairman, Mr. Rotimi Oyekomi, disclosed this at the hearing organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters. He noted that if the new commission is established, electoral offenders and the sponsors would reconsider their actions. The electoral umpire also emphasized the need for the establishment of the Electoral Offences Commission and the tribunal to look into such infractions. It will be recalled that the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said at a 2021 public hearing on the bill for an act to establish the National Electoral Offences Commission that work on the country's electoral process would remain incomplete if electoral offenders continue to work freely. Professor Yakubu, who acknowledged the additional powers given to the Commission in the new Electoral Act 2022, argued that only electoral offenders were tried while the masterminds had not been properly dealt with. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has described the judgment of the Court of Appeal, Abuja, that upheld his electoral victory as affirmation of the will of God and voice of the people. The governor said this while reacting to the appeal court judgment. Governor's office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekilekun reports.
It was a joyous moment at the country home of the governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, in Ede, when he received the news of his victory at the Court of Appeal, Abuja. Reacting to the judgment, Senator Adeleke said the judgment of the appellate court was a confirmation of the people's mandate freely given to him on the 16th of July 2022.
For what he has done, because this has proven that when you don't depend on people and you depend on God, God did it. I'm so excited and I'm so happy that it happened like this.
Governor Adeleke thanked residents of the state for their love and support, saying that his administration will leave no stone unturned in delivering dividends of democracy that they voted him for.
My message to them is to keep hope alive, because we are not done yet. The dividend of democracy is here to stay in Osun. All the goodies that we have promised them, we have just started. They ain't say nothing yet.
He extended olive branches to his political opponents to join hands with him and move the state forward.
We are all family. The party just different and everything. But let's come together and then work together. The God has spoken. I mean, the voice of people is the voice of God.
Also speaking, Yeyelua Dupe Adeleke Sani gave thanks to God for the victory, saying that people have spoken and the court has duly affirmed the people's voice.
Osun people have spoken through their votes to elect PDP and to elective governor, His Excellency Senator Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke. I want to thank God today that the appeal court judges have spoken.
Different groups of people from both Islam and Christianity thronged the country home for Thanksgiving in respect of the judgment. It has been Abdurrahim Adekilekun reporting.
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has called on all and sundry, as well as members of the opposition party, to work with his administration to embrace the process of healing and forget party politics in order to move the state forward. This is contained in a statement personally signed by the governor while reacting to the verdict of the appeal court affirming his victory as the duly elected governor of Osun State. According to him, the judiciary has corrected the wrongs of the lower courts, which has rekindled the confidence of the nation in the integrity of the judiciary as the last hope of the common man. He expressed delight over the Court of Appeal ruling that biomodal voter accreditation machine and voters register are the primary sources and not the report from the server, saying the verdict has strengthened the nation's democracy. While describing the verdict as no victor, no vanquished, the governor dedicated his victory at the appeal court to the Almighty God and the people of the state. Meanwhile, A cross-section of residents of Osun State have described the appeal court judgment that affirmed Governor Ademola Adeleke's victory as a true reflection of justice. Those who spoke with Osbc News appreciated God that their decision in voting Governor Ademola Adeleke as the July 16, 2022 governor poll was not in vain. Said Adeboje completes the story.
Later than the pronouncement of the appellate court, Abuja, that overturned the decision of Osun Governorship Tribunal, residents of Osogbo, the capital of the state, trooped out to celebrate the judgment. Although security operatives were on alert at strategic areas in the state capital, but peace was reigning after the unanimous decision of the Court of Appeal that affirmed the victory of Governor Ademola Adeleke at the July 16th poll. Visit to marketplaces revealed that traders were happy as they go about their businesses without fear or molestation, even as they celebrate the decision of the appellate court. Male and female well-wishers of Governor Ademola Adeleke were seen jubilating at the popular Ashubiaro Junction through Isalearo area of the state. Speaking with this reporter, an indigene of Osun State, Dr. Soji Akinpelu, described the decision of the appellate court as a true reflection of justice. According to him, it was clear that residents of the state voted Senator Ademola Adeleke as their governor in the July 16, 2022 elections.
It's what we are expecting in Osun in general, because all Osun indigenes voted for Governor Adeleke, and the first judgment of the tribunal, you can see the reaction in Osun State. Nobody was happy. So the judgment of that appeal, I believe, Daniel has really come to judgment.
In their separate remarks, Mrs. Iyabo Adebayo and Ajibola Ashimiyu expressed their delight that the appellate court took a cautious look on the appeal before it and dispensed justice as it implies. They further expressed their support for the present administration.
Everybody, you are happy for that judgment.
In the meantime, it was a jubilation galore in the state. For Osbc News, this is Said Adeboje reporting.
In the same vein, the judgment of the Court of Appeal that nullified the ruling of the Osun State gubernatorial election petition tribunal and upheld the election of Senator Ademola Adeleke as the duly elected governor of Osun State has been described as the triumph of truth over falsehood. This was the submission of a cross-section of PDP stakeholders who spoke with Osbc News.
I'm elated with what is going on now because the people of Osun have spoken. They say the voice of people is the voice of God. So people have expressed their feelings that they are with Governor Ademola Adeleke. And even the appeal court judges have affirmed it.
So God be the glory, the finest judgments you can see. I still have opened our judges, our justices of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Everybody can see what happened. A very fine, and you can see how people are jubilating in Osun State. Everywhere, all the streets, all nooks and crannies in the state, because the voice of people supremalis. And as a result of that, you don't expect less, because the man is performing. He's the most popular. He has been delivering, and he won.
What happened today, the judgment of the appeal court, is a renewal of hope in our judiciary in Nigeria. You can see that the judgment unanimously have shown the reflection of the mandate and the wish of the people of Osun State. And by doing this, we return the glory to Almighty God and the judgment that we received today.
Ifeda State Constituency Lawmaker-elect Prince Kashokbe Abolarin has expressed his readiness to run an open-door legislative assignment for the betterment of people of the constituency. Prince Abolarin stated this while speaking with Osbc News on the mandate given him in the just concluded House of Assembly election. While lauding the support received towards his emergence, he assured that the 8th Assembly.
I would like to thank the great people of Ifedayo. I would like to thank my KBSs, starting from the Orogun of Ila, the Asaoni of Ora Igbomino, the Akesin of Ora Igbomino, and the Orogun of Okila. I would also like to thank all the Bales all the Oloyes, both male and female. I would like to thank all the Iyalojas and the Babalojas for their support and their votes, because without them, I am nothing. And to the great youth of Ifedayo and to the great youth of Osun State, I would like to tell you that I decided to be the representative of the youth and of this generation. And so I promise and I hope and I believe I will deliver the dividends of democracy to each and every one of us.
Now to the entertainment news. Upcoming artists have been admonished to be more patient and focus more on their path in order to fast-track their success in the industry. A popular gospel musician evangelist Elijah Akintunde gave the admonition while speaking with Oluwatobiloba Odunuga of the entertainment desk on his journey so far in the industry.
Welcome to Entertainment News segment, where we'll be discussing top happenings and recent events across the entertainment world. I am Oluwatobiloba Odunuga.
Ayé ló sọ pé ó lè níláárí, ènìyàn ló sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ò lè jásíre, wòlíì èké sọ pé ayé ẹ̀ ò lè nítumọ̀, kíyèsí Ọlọ́run kò sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o.
A popular gospel artist, evangelist Elijah Akintunde, popularly known as Ọlọ́run kò sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, has said his journey to limelight in the entertainment industry was a tight one, while many were advising him to venture into something else. Evangelist Akintunde added that while he was still an upcoming artist in the entertainment industry, striving to attain greatness, there were no help coming from anyone, adding that he kept on struggling to make a difference. The gospel musician, who attributed his success to the divine mercy and intervention of God, said many in the entertainment industry today does not have patience, noting that many of them lose focus at the end of the day.
I give all glory to the Lord, because in this at the starting point it was so convenient because of a lot of things I put online that I put together, and because of lack of support and assistance from every angle of life, so I suffer a lot of hardship along the line. But I give glory to the Lord. As time goes on, the Lord appeared in a special way, and He raised support for me at places I didn't expect.
Furthermore, Ọlọ́run kò sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ enjoined artists in the industry to be more committed and more focused, noting that this will lead them to the right path.
As more you believe in yourself that this gift is from God, and through it you can be known, so you have to be focused. That's the first thing. Another thing I would tell them is know your part of music, your area in the music, because there are different departments in Christian music. You pattern, different pattern. Don't copy somebody. Don't sing because one particular song is popular and people love to hear it. No. Sing your own song.
This, he said, would help many who are still striving hard to attain greater heights in the entertainment industry.
This is the convenience spot to draw the curtain of entertainment news segment for today. Join us next time for another sweet edition of the entertainment news. I remain your own Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, saying bye for now.
You are welcome to our sports segment. Super Eagles head coach Jose Pizarro has attributed 1-0 loss to Guinea-Bissau in 2023 AFCON qualifiers to bad luck. The winning took the Joritos to 7 points and top in Group A, while the Super Eagles dropped to second. Omotayo Adebono has details of this and more.
I recorded a shock 1-0 win against the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the Group A of the 2023 AFCON qualifiers in Abuja. This is the first time ever Guinea-Bissau will defeat the Eagles. Guinea-Bissau, now on 7 points, absorbs the Eagles as Group A leaders. The two teams will meet again on Monday, 27th of March for the second leg. Meanwhile, Alex Iwobi has pleaded with the fans to stick by the Super Eagles despite the team's shocking 1-0 defeat to Guinea-Bissau. The Super Eagles were overwhelming favorites to win the game but wasted a number of clear-cut chances. The three-time African champions dropped to second position in Group A for following the defeat. In the meantime, world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz announced the start of his Miami Open title defense in emphatic fashion, losing just 2 games in a comprehensive win over Facundo Bagnes. The US Open champion, who is 19 years, needed 65 minutes to complete a 6-0, 6-2 victory against the Argentina ranked 100. The Spaniard, who triumphed at India Wells last week, has lost just 1 of his 16 matches this year. He must defend his title in Miami to stay as the world's top-ranked player. That is despite the absence of Novak Djokovic, who is not permitted to enter the US because of his COVID vaccination status, as he requires the 1,000 ranking points that would accompany success to stay ahead of the Serb. Alcaraz was forced to miss the first Grand Slam of the year at the Australian Open because of injury. However, he is doing his best to make up for the lost time. In the women's draw, Canadian 22-year-old Bianca Andreescu, who ended British number 1's Emma Raducanu's challenge earlier this week, came back to defeat world number 10 Maria Sakkari 5-7, 6-3, 6-4. France world number 4 Caroline Garcia and Tunisia Ons Jabeur, ranked 5th, were both also beaten. Omotayo Adibodun.
While on the foreign scene, the United States said jet fuel for Myanmar's armed forces has been targeted in the latest sanctions it imposed on the country's military regime and crony businesses. Details of this report and more are presented by Kayode Adebayo of our foreign desk.
U.S. Secretary Department said that it had imposed sanctions on 2 people and 6 entities connected to Myanmar's military who had enabled the regime's continuing atrocities. The U.S. Treasury added that 3 sanctioned entities work in Myanmar's defense sector, specifically in the importation, storage, and distribution of aviation fuel for the country's armed forces. It also pointed out that since the military seized power in 2021, had relied increasingly on air attacks, which had targeted civilian areas with unguided ammunition and rockets, killing thousands of people. In the meantime, the United Nations said it was deeply concerned by what it described as summary executions of prisoners of war by both Russian and Ukrainian forces on the battlefield. The allegations came shortly after Kyiv accused Russian forces of killing a captured Ukrainian serviceman who was filmed saying glory to Ukraine before being shot dead. The head of the United Nations Human Rights Monitoring Mission in Ukraine, Matilda Bogner, said that her organization had recently recorded killings by both sides. Ms. Bogner added that the United Nations is deeply concerned about the summary executions of up to 25 Russian prisoners of war and persons housed the combat by the Ukrainian armed forces, which have been documented as it was often perpetrated immediately upon capture of on the battlefield. Ukrainian prisoners of war quoted in the report that they were subjected to torture, sexual violence, lack of food and water, and medical attention. However, the Ukrainian Parliament's Human Rights Commissioner Dmytro Lubinets said he was surprised by the allegations against Ukrainian troops and said he had not been informed of them in advance. Kayode Adebayo, Osbc News.
And that ends the major report on Osbc TV. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo. I'm Olubumi Ajiboye Agbona. Thank you for being there as always. Good night.
Hey, Star Times don't bring you another